So test and troubleshoot. This is something that I came up with years ago, and Frank, you'll remember this, that as we continued to film the television show, and house after house after house had electrical problems, plumbing problems, structural problems, it just never stops. And today, by the way, it still doesn't stop. I said we should be setting up a test and troubleshoot for people that want to buy a house, people that live in a house and don't know if the electrical's up to code. Do a test and troubleshoot. It's a simple thing. Tell me approximately how much it would cost to do a standard test and troubleshoot for you to go to anyone's home, to give them the advice they need, to give them the advice about buying a house, because if you're going to do an inspection process, you can do a test and troubleshoot on electrical, on plumbing, on everything. How much?
When you're dealing with the seller would have to give us written permission that they're going to allow us to open up all the devices. So if we're going in and only using a plug-in tester and just plugging into the devices, that's one thing. If we're going to open up each device, make sure that everything's nice and tight as it should be, and ensure the wiring, is what they said it is, then it takes a lot more time. So an actual full test and troubleshoot, roughly, depending on the size of the home, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours worth of time would be needed. We recommend new devices at that point because devices do wear. There is an end of life to devices, plugs and switches. So roughly $2,000 would end up taking up the day of time.
Okay, but it's probably the best $2,000 anyone is ever going to spend. As far as I'm concerned. But even on a simple test and troubleshoot, and I'm talking about if you want to buy a house. On a simple test and troubleshoot would be you going in without opening anything, looking at the panel, checking receptacles, doing a visual. That's going to be minimal. $600?
Yep.
Okay, $600. That's minimal. Why aren't we doing this?
I honestly don't. I wish I could tell you why. I honestly don't know.
Why didn't Faye do that?
Well, if you want me to give you what I think that homeowners in today's market are too busy trying to not lose that deal.
Which is
not enough inventory.
Which is my point. Right now, there's such a boom in selling the houses that people are lining up and bidding on these houses.
Yes.
People are getting way over asking, and we're letting go of the most important things that we need to know. Is this home safe for me, my children, and the future?
Well, Faye's home had, we found at least 15 different devices, like plugs, that were reverse polarity. And what reverse polarity is, that if the shell of whatever you're plugging in is metal, that would have actually had a chance to become live if there was a short in that
shock
circuit.
Hazard.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, how many times, when I was as a kid, I'll never forget this. I'd go into the kitchen, lean against the stove, and we'd be like, did I just get a shock?
Well, obviously you didn't get enough shocks. I used to have straight hair.
See, that's funny.
I try.
Years ago, things were wired without ground
Yes.
and not understanding ground. And many homeowners, when I was a kid, fixed their own houses. They couldn't afford to bring people in. That was the normal. I get that. That never is a misunderstanding. Or was it terrible? Was it safe? Well, probably not. Why did I get a shock when I touched the stove? Tell me.
Well, there's so many different reasons
probably
why
wasn't
you ended up
grounded.
getting shock, and there is no ground, and it could have been reverse polarity, even though it was a 2-wire system. So many different reasons on why you could have got that
You
shock.
said something a moment ago that I don't think anyone really pays attention to. There is a life expectancy on every receptacle, on every switch, smoke detectors, the new smoke alarms. They don't want to say smoke detectors anymore. It's now a smoke alarm with the flashing eye thing, and that's just for anyone that possibly may be deaf. What they want to do is cover every single possibility of saving lives in case of a fire. Who would have thought that there's a lifespan on a receptacle? How many houses have I walked in and that receptacle has been there for 50 years?
Well, think about it. You've got a device that when you're plugging in a male end of a cord, it's got the receiving end, the female end, if you will, where there's little prongs, little copper prongs on the inside that would catch that receptacle and hold it in place. Yeah. And you know, with time of plugging in, plugging out, plugging in, plugging out,
They
of
wear.
course, they're going to wear. Everything has an end of life. Everything does. Our devices, as you clearly mentioned, no one's ever thought of that. But 7 to 10 years is what the manufacturers recommend, and I agree wholeheartedly.